Sony, where you going? What? The court's over here.
I want to see kids succeed, beyond the basketball court. I want to see them grow up and become, great citizens here in Lincoln. I want to see them become assets to our community, where when I get older, I can see them and be able to call on them as they're just great people in general. Like, transformational to me is huge, because when I first started, I was pretty transactional, where I really just wanted to get kids better at basketball. Like, that was my main thing. I knew I had a gift of coaching, so I was working and training them, and I noticed I was really good at it. There was something I could do to simplify everything. And then I started thinking more and more that parents were reaching out to me, messaging me about their kid's confidence growing. They see a difference in their kid. And I realized that it was more than just training a kid in basketball. It was more transformational. I was changing these kids' lives. I was making impacts on not just them, but just on their family. Their parents were feeling more proud of their kid and giving them reasons to, keep going. As adults sometimes, and as parents, it's hard to be motivated. But when you look at your kid and you see yourself in their face, it's hard to just not feel pride in that. And especially when they're feeling confident and just in general, just better people. And that's what I mean by transformational. Are you making not just the right decisions on the basketball court? Are you going home making the right decisions? Are you at school making the right decisions? Are you being conscious? Are you fully thinking through before making decisions? I feel like I know a lot of people that made irrational decisions where a 10, 15 seconds changed 10, 15 years of their lives. And that's what I want them to be conscious of. On the basketball court, you get to kind of make a mistake and move on. You're conscious. Are you making that same mistake 2 weeks from now, 2 games from now? No, you shouldn't be, especially if it's something you could control. So just being transformational is huge to me. And it's also changing me as well too. I think it made me kind of grow up quicker, kind of mature quicker. So I got gray hair. And I'm only 32, so it's just I feel wise in a sense too, that these parents and these kids are entrusting me to do that. So that's what I mean by transformational.
He's growing, and he's going to continue to do so. So it'll be exciting to see North Star basketball in the upcoming years.
Tell me a little bit about this program. Tell me what is COG? What is COG about?
Yeah, well, I think the goal is to not have COG be on them, not skill set, but it's the COG to grow within them. It's a mentality thing. They have to come here, and like you said, they have to work really hard, and it's just a mindset of can you go hard for an hour here, and then you'll see it's just kind of when you put your all into something, your whole focus into a craft or whatever you're into. If you do that, you'll see it expedite. You'll grow quicker in whatever you're doing. And I think here at COG, that's what people see. We're known for dribbling. That's our key thing we focus on is dribbling, skills of dribbling. When you can dribble on the basketball court and you build that, you get more freedom on the basketball court. You can get to places you want to get to on the court, and some kids lack that skill of dribbling. And so when you're able to dribble, it just gives you more freedom. And so here at COG, it is very intense when you come here, especially it can be a beginner session with 5-year-old kids, and you've never seen a 5-year-old kid just stay focused and locked in and work that hard. So I think the main thing is just a mentality point that we give here at COG. You let kids' confidence grow, and we do expedite their personal basketball skills at the same time.
I like it because, like, I feel like Tommy pushes me sometimes, and even if I don't like it, he's just trying to get me better overall.
He really helps push us to our limits and even further to help us become a better basketball player. So I think that's what helped me become one of the best.
So Tommy, you told me before that when you were growing up in the community that you would just carry your basketball everywhere you went. Didn't matter where you were going, it was with you at all times. And you said something that stuck. You said that I always took my basketball everywhere I went. Never thought the basketball would take me to places in my life. Can you explain that?
Yeah, for sure. Well, what I mean by that is if you knew the Johnsons on Northside Lincoln, you knew that we were a basketball family. And so we used to take our basketballs everywhere we go, especially if we were going to the park, wherever we took outside, we'll be dribbling our basketballs everywhere. So I like to live with the saying that I used to take my basketball places, now my basketball took me places. And what I mean by that is when I was younger, I would take my basketball to the park and all that. And then next thing you know, when I was like a freshman in high school, I tried out for an AAU team called Team Nebraska. And I made the team. And then that's when I realized that was my first time getting on a plane. I went to Las Vegas, went to like a whole different place I've never seen. Like, I didn't know it was possible. And the reason why I went there was because of my basketball. The reason why I went off to college was because of my basketball. And the reason why I'm here in the community right now is because of my basketball. And so my basketball just was the most consistent thing that I've ever had in my life.
So you also said that the Johnsons are known for basketball. You have some pretty strong players in your family, those that are playing right now for North Star.
Yes.
Where you're coaching, and a nephew that is also in Florida, where his basketball took him to places. Tell me a little bit about how that transitions into your family and how important basketball is.
Yeah, so it's one of those things, it's like one of those gems you carry from generation to generation, and me and my brothers and sisters happen to be the first generation that my dad put a basketball in our hands. So we're carrying that over to the next generation. So, you know, we have a niece that's starting at Lincoln Southwest. We have another niece that's at North Star. We have a nephew that's at North Star playing varsity. They're all three playing varsity. And then we have a nephew that just came back from Florida who it was on the national player ranking and is a really good basketball player as well. So it's just carrying the legacy. So like, we're just the stepping stone. My dad gave us the stepping stone to, you know, to move into life and kind of have like a direction of where we're going. And we took that step. And so now it's their obligation, I feel, in life is to take the next step forward. Where else can basketball take you, or where else can your education take you that you get from basketball?
So what type of players do you normally get when you have a group of kids coming into COG? Like, explain the type of players that you have.
Okay, so the players that come in aren't your normal prototype basketball players. They come here because they want to get better. So a lot of them sometimes start from ground zero. A lot of them are, if they have been playing, they've been on like the third or fourth team of their basketball team that they're on, or club team. So we get those type of players and we build them. We build them into different type of prototypes. So like, for example, there's a kid named Parker Kelly who was on like the third Supreme basketball team, and now he's one of the standout players at Lincoln Pius as a senior right now. And those are the type of players that we've seen. And this is our first senior class to reach, and Parker is the head of that senior class. And then we have like Cohen Sand and Sawyer Sand, two brothers that's been in the program as well that I worked with for a very long time. And then, but if you look through the landscape of Lincoln basketball, a lot of them are the names of the underdogs that people don't really see, like Grant from Lincoln Northeast. When me and Michi turn on 10, 11 to watch the news at night, we touched at least and coached certain players on every highlight from watching York to Raymond Central to Fall City. We've played and coached with trained a lot of those kids. So basically, we get those players that you have to build up. They're not kids that just come in here great basketball players.
I remember watching a video of one of your North Star players, and the interview question was, did you know you were going to make that shot?
Well, what about the interview during your native plans? Whatever time was left, and did you know it was going in?
Yeah, of course I did.
Where did that confidence come from?
So my teammates, they always hype me up.
Hey, were you there when it went to overtime to tap out? No, you still don't get out of it?
Never had that. I knew we had to win.
Good.
So how do you teach your kids or your players the confidence? Where do you think they get that from?
I think the first thing is giving them a sense of belongingness. So we create like a family atmosphere where you're able to make mistakes and to not be looked upon wrong or anything. We help each other grow through those mistakes. I'm one of those coaches that basically gives kids the opportunity to fail. And that's huge, I believe. If they don't have the opportunity to fail, then they'll never know what happened if they tried. They should never fear anything when they're playing basketball or in life. They should be ready to seek and ask questions and act upon whatever it is they're looking to do. And so when it comes to the confidence that is built, that's just belonging to our group, our team, the team aspect, and to know that you took the shot, or you tried to make the play, and you weren't trying to make the play to fail. You were trying to make the play to succeed, and if you ended up failing, we're there to pick you right back up. So we're basically each other's crutches at the same time.
It feels like it's like I'm at home, like it's like family here.
Something I really enjoy about basketball is that it's more than a game. I can create like relationships with different people and coaches and players, and like it'll like last me a long time, you know? It's just fun to play and just to get to know people.
Tell me a little bit about the things that you do with the Omaha reservations and the outreach that you do with that community.
Yeah, with the Omaha reservations, I'm Native American. One thing I do take extreme pride in is being Native American. My mom's a full-blooded Native American, and that's pretty rare to see for like a city native. One thing about me is I've always been stuck in the middle between of being a Native American, where sometimes I don't feel as confident in my own skin. But when I was younger, as I got older, I am very confident being Native American. Where I would go to the Omaha reservation where my grandma stayed, and I actually went to school there too at one point, and they'll call me an urban Indian, city boy, and things like that. And then I'll come back to the city in Lincoln, and it'll be fun jokes about like cultural jokes about like a powwows, and I'll hear those things. So I was always caught in the middle of being Native American and being in my own skin. So as a kid, I wasn't very confident. You know, I was pretty I wasn't that confident of being Native American. But as I got older, I always heard like Native pride growing up, Native pride, Native pride. And I'm starting to feel that a lot more now. So when I go back to the reservation, it's a different feeling for me. On the reservation, there's some sad things that go on, just like in any community. There's sad things going on, whether it's like suicide rates going up or alcohol abuse. You know, there's things happening on the reservation that are sad, but there's also youth on the reservation that can bring hope, I believe. And so when I go to the reservation, I go there with a sense of giving these kids hope. I did a basketball camp there with, I teamed up with Society of Care, and we gave out free backpacks for back to school and gave out like a mini basketball hoop to a kid. And it was amazing. That was at Omaha Nation Public Schools. And then we went to Walt Hill for school assembly as well. And those, just like the community here in Lincoln, going and doing that means a lot to me too, because some kids are scared to leave the reservation, just like I used to be scared to leave my block here in Lincoln. And just knowing that I took a step outside of my comfort zone and is moving forward and doing different things, I believe that it makes those kids believe that there's more out there for them as well.
You know, he's touching every part of the community.
It makes me feel really proud. I just wish, you know, for him to extend it out to the other communities, like Native American communities, and, you know, not just the Native American community, but just, I wish there was more Native American children in the program, you know, because I know they're out there. And it just makes me happy when he does do that, and he get recognized.
He got everything in there, you know. You go by diversity, you know, you got families that struggle.
Right.
You got families that's all right in the middle. Then you got families on that tier, you know, that top tier. You know, he got everything in this program. He don't push nobody away.
When I first started talking to you about, you know, your initiative with basketball, you talked about doing your first camp and you were worried about, you know, whether or not if anyone was going to come and attend. You realized that this was your calling. And then, you know, tragedy kind of hit. COVID came. And you have a lot of perseverance. So tell us how you overcame that challenge.
Yeah, so I actually was going on to my second camp. So it was going to be my second month of doing camps. And then just everything started, like the world just came to a complete pause with COVID. And when I went home and I was on my phone and on the internet, and I was just like, what can still connect me to kids? And I remembered back to when I was in college. I used to feel so comfortable when I was able to talk to my mom through Zoom, and it felt like my mom was right there when I was missing her. So I know these kids were missing basketball. They were missing their friends. And so I brought them all together on the computer, and there'd be like 30, 40 kids on Zoom. And they'll be like, I can see them all looking at each other and like being able to connect with each other and work out with each other on Zoom. And so I really, it did something for me as well too. And I just really wanted to make something, a tragedy turn triumph basically throughout the Zoom, throughout COVID with Zoom. And so we did that for like 3 months straight for free for kids just to get on, and we did it every other day. So there was a ton of growth that these kids experienced through Zoom and through the Zoom workouts. And I was able to actually, after when we started opening back up, there was a lot of kids I've never met before. And so like my following grew through doing those Zoom sessions at that time. And that's where, honestly, that's where COG took off, is through Zoom. And so I was able to build so many relationships and have a lot of fun. I went from doing just like one session a day to where I had to add on, and I had to ask family members to run sessions for me as well, because there was multiple groups I had to do at that time now.
It is remarkable because he is so good at what he does. He has the results that he does within these kids that he's with day in and day out, and he feels that. Like he's just, he knows that he can give these kids who truly want to do better, he can give them those skills, like he always says, on and off the court.
So I'm just very proud of him and everything he does.
This is him.
So I've asked one question to everyone in the family. You can be honest, but I've asked, who do you think is the best basketball player in the family? Who do you believe is the best basketball player in your family?
Right now?
Who do you think, in your opinion, is the best basketball player in the family? Who's the best basketball player out of your family? Who do you think is the best basketball player in the family?
To me, I see that perfection in all of them.
Javis.
You know, Joyce and Javis are amazing at what they do, and I think that their skills outshine probably anybody. My other nephew, Jay Sean, I mean, the kids are they just grow, and they're so good, and I think that's Tommy and Michi, honestly, that really helps.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna say my brother.
If we're going kids and we're going my age group, it's me.